Okay. There we go. Let's see. All right, Shawn. I have almost 8,000 things to tell you.
Are you recording right now?
Yeah.
Oh, 8,000. So are they like the 8,000 things that you like appreciate about me and think are great about me, and all the stuff that like makes you happy whenever you see my face?
Yeah. Number one, he doesn't say stupid things. Hang on, I need to draw a line through that.
Oh. So what?
No, Shawn, we're in the scary time. It's scary time now.
It's a spooky month, one of our favorite months, because it's like, hey, we want to talk about. It's like something that makes me scared and makes me not want to stay in my basement all by myself.
Yeah, 'cause that's where the spiders live.
Yeah, and this is the time of year too. We got apple cider. We've got fireplaces, fire pits. We've got trick or treating. Goblins are running around. Great time of year. I don't know if you've noticed too. Halloween stuff has been out like early. I started seeing stuff 1st of September.
I started seeing stuff like end of August.
Yeah, like it's getting to be like Christmas, where Christmas seeps into like right after Halloween. It's like Christmas stuff. It's like, can we get Thanksgiving?
Start seeing Christmas stuff right after Halloween. I think it's because like it's hard to market. Like it's easy to market Halloween stuff because it's decorations, and it's easy to market Christmas decorations, but you don't really see a lot of people put up Thanksgiving Day decorations or Labor Day decorations or Casimir Pulaski Day decorations.
President's Day though, I got so many things up for that.
Oh, I mean, I am choked with President's Day decorations.
Yep, all over the place.
Glutful sin of Cinco de Mayo stuff. I don't even want to get into it.
Like it. All right.
But Shawn, we're not talking about Cinco de Mayo. We're not talking about Casimir Pulaski, although we should. He's a very famous Revolutionary War general.
Nice fabric outfit too. Cashmere.
No, it's spelled different. Never mind. All right, I'm going to make it a point to freak you out. So we're going to do this. We're going to go right in. Ready? Here we go. What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And today, we're speaking the language of bromance. Today, Shawn, I have something special for you.
Oh. Is it a seance?
I have found a when I say, I say treasure trove, but that does not do it justice. I have found a collection of entries on monsters that exist in our world.
Oh, I always there's been I've seen things like a couple times. I'm like, that doesn't seem like that should be there. Like monster wise, like cryptids are interesting to me. Cause all these people can't be crazy, looking for attention, right? Somebody's seeing something they think's a Bigfoot. That's out there. It's happened. Now, is it actually a Bigfoot or just a bear that's walking on its back legs? I don't know. Still scary as hell.
Yep. So you mentioned cryptids. This is a combination of cryptid / I don't want to say copy pasta. It is, but it isn't. / strange phenomenon. Shawn, I think I have recently introduced you, and when I say recently, I mean within the last 5 minutes. I have recently introduced you to something called the SCP Foundation.
Yeah, I'm down with SCP.
Yeah, you know me. So what the SCP Foundation is it's a internet archive of everything that I mentioned, every scary thing you've ever heard or never heard of your entire life is all collected in one place. It's the SCP stands for Secure, Contain, and Protect. Oh. This is a group of individuals that have developed case files over thousands of strange and or scary and or odd things that have happened over the course of human existence.
Ooh, I like this.
So what I'm going to do, Shawn, is I'm going to read you some entries from the SCP Foundation. And so I have not seen these. I have not seen some of these. So what I'm going to do, Shawn, is I'm going to have you pick a number, and then we will go to the specified case file.
Yes.
Under the SCP wiki. So, Shawn, what I want you to do is I want you to pick a number between 1. Now, this is, like I said, when I say treasure trove, this is what I'm talking about. I need you to pick a number between 1 and 8,000.
4,362. And just to be fair, like, we have not talked about this at all, so we're not like, oh, I'm totally picking one. Like, this is legit, like, off the cusp.
4,362.
I was going to say 69, but that's childish. This is research. This is real life.
This is
classified.
SCP entry 4362 is something referring to something called the Achilles Defense System.
Whoa.
SCP-4362 is an anomalous technology integrated into the ADS program, which was later adopted by multiple military programs throughout the world. Because ADS uses multiple interdependent anomalous components, it is all but impossible to isolate SCP-4362 from the systems of which it is a part. For this reason, all technology connected to or otherwise derived from ADS is treated as a part of SCP-4362. So apparently this is a sentient glitch in computerized defense system, like Skynet.
Yeah, or like
you get from the Terminator movies.
Or is this like the Are You Afraid of the Dark, where it's a computer virus that gets infected in people? That was a creepy one too. Do you imagine if there was a glitch like that like was a thing that like overtook computers and like our systems? Like everything runs on that. Like my new truck, Richard, it runs through like Wi-Fi and stuff. Like I'm worried if I upgrade it, I won't be able to drive it. That's how concerned I am about that thing.
See?
Yeah.
Skynet. It's Skynet. In the years that followed, multiple organizations acquired and cannibalized ADS technology for their own programs. In 2008, equipment produced by these programs started to malfunction. Examples included rifles that would not fire without internet access, medical devices with built-in paywalls, and headgear with HUDs that only displayed extended service agreements. After examining these devices, Foundation agents traced the technology to a software company known as Mediagen involved in the original ADS contract. According to reports from the Pentagon, Mediagen had expressed interest in the monetization of conflict and the privatization of military through the use of microtransactions and corporate sponsorships. It is currently believed that SCP-4362 is some form of recycled anomalous code intended towards this aim, and that it was inadvertently incorporated into into the Achilles defense system. There's audio log entries. There's an addendum known as the drone incident. In 2012, MTF NU7 was involved in a conflict against insurgent operatives. Armed with anomalous weaponry, Sergeant Miguel Perez acquired one of the attacker's firearms after his own weapon became inoperable. Although unable to fire it, Sergeant Perez provided the weapon with credit card information after being offered an exclusive sponsored drone strike pack. Immediately after this transaction was completed, 6 unidentified drones manifested above the enemy's position and eliminated them via sustained bombardment. Witnesses reported a voice overhead saying that this drone strike was brought to you by Miguel Perez in cooperation with McDonald's and was accompanied by the sound of a commercial jingle and slogan. Sergeant Perez was later reimbursed for a charge of approximately $15,000 to his credit card.
It seemed like it seemed good in the end. The guy got a refund.
This bombardment brought to you by McDonald's. Ba 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 ba.
You're loving it. No, it's time. Oh, damn it.
All right. So there you go. It's microtransaction. It's gone sentient and amok.
Oh, you want to open your fridge? Pay $1.
Yeah.
Teach you to look in the fridge in the middle of the night.
So that was SCP 4362.
All right, let's do 2615.
2615. All right. 2615. All SCP-2615 instances are to be contained in standard micro-humanoid containment cells, which are to be stored at Site-17. Instances are to be fed thrice daily. It is a species of sapient humanoids which measure 15 centimeters tall on average.
Whoa!
They possess wings of varying appearance, though the wings universally match the appearance of the wings of various species of birds, I believe. Various species of birds. Instances can use these wings to achieve airborne locomotion. 2615 instances are luminescent, though the light produced generates no heat and has no clear biological or chemical basis.
Are these fairies? They sound like fairies. Or pixies. I don't know what the difference between a pixie and a fairy is.
I think you're right, Sean. There's an interview with SCP-2615 instance number 28. The interviewer is Dr. Tamlin. He says, you were aware that several aspects of your physiology are not scientifically possible. Would you care to explain how they work? The SCP-2615 instance 28 responds, I get it. You're going to try the old I don't believe in fairies trick to try and get rid of us. It's not going to work. We moved away from existentialism a while back. I'm not sure that you understood the question, responds Tamlin. For example, you weigh, 35 grams? Your wings shouldn't be able to support you in flight. Well, it's magic. The glow is another thing. There's no biological or chemical reason that you should be glowing. Again, magic. But what about, and then SCP-2615 cuts off Dr. Tamlin and says, magic, it's all freaking magic, you idiot. Why can't you get that through your skull? 2615 instance 28 speech degrades into a set of growls, grunts, screams, expletives, and yet to be translated language.
Oh, damn, it got pissed. That to me would be like a little scary, like fairy pixie like thing. It just scares the crap out of me because it would you think like wasp are scary? Like think about one of those things flying around being like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you.
SCP-2615 instances are capable of limited reality warping, with most of their effects only affecting natural phenomenon. Phenomena affected by 2615 include weather patterns, atmospheric temperature and pressure, animal behavior, and plant growth.
Ooh. Be good if you wanted some trees.
So they're to be stored, the containment procedure is to be stored at Site-17 and fed thrice daily.
Does it say what you feed them? I bet it's lots of sugar.
It does not say what to feed them.
Can you feed them after midnight?
Well, that's a whole different entry, Shawn.
Oh, okay. All right, let's do 3698.
3698. Let's see. 3, 6, 9. You know, I usually a lot of times like I'm worried about like, oh God, like do we have enough to last an hour? I'm not really worried in this instance. Like, even though a lot of the, like, I'm not worried about like, even though a lot of these entries are kind of short, I'm like, there's 8,000 of them. I think it'll be all right.
I think we got better odds. I'm going to say the same number again.
3698?
Yeah, 3698.
3698. Let's see. Wing 6 of Site 101 is to remain under lockdown until further notice. Airlocks on windows, doors, and vent systems of Wing 6 are to be inspected twice daily to ensure structural integrity. No expeditions into Wing 6 for sampling are to be conducted without written approval of the O5 Council. All identified instances of SCP-3698 have been quarantined into one of 2 zones near Mount Blank, which is actually redacted, and also Mount Blank, which is also redacted.
Oh, this one's serious.
These are designated zones 3698A and 3698C, respectively. These areas are off limits to the public, park rangers, and all local law enforcement. The perimeters around these zones consist of 2 barriers designed to prevent intrusion. 1 inner barrier constructed of rebar and forced 3x3 bulletproof glass panes. 1 external barrier constructed of chain link fence with twice the perimeter of the inner barrier. Should any instances of 3698 be discovered outside Site A or C, they must be destroyed as soon as possible via controlled incineration to minimize damage to surrounding vegetation. Let's see. SCP-3698 is an old factory cognito hazard produced by a currently unidentified number of Douglas fir trees in the Cascade Mountain Range. While undetectable through all forms of chemical analysis, they are visible using Kant counters. Regular Douglas fir trees have an average Hume reading of 106.0, whereas SCP-3698 exhibit readings of 107.4. Effects depend on the concentration in the air. At a distance, it becomes perceptible to humans with normal olfactory abilities. Exposed individuals describe the scent as pleasant and crisp. At 10 to 4.5 meters, individuals begin to develop symptoms. These include obsession with plants. Exposed individuals will request to have plants, exclusively coniferous saplings, placed in their quarters for up to a week after exposure. They will also have persistent feelings of nostalgia. At less than 2 meters, you will have an obsession with coniferous plants. Exposed individuals will request them in their quarters. Elevated body temperature, extreme paranoia when outside of wooded environments, near total mutism, interrogative compulsions when not mute. Subjects will aggressively question any nearby humans, prying for and repeatedly demand to be returned to the trees.
Oh, man,
Self-destructive behavior. Self-destructive behavior consistent with extreme body dysmorphia.
Oh, I just talked about how fat I was.
Let's see.
You know, these things sound like all the bad things that could have been in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see. There's some footnotes here. There's an announcement from Site 101 director Paulson. I'm going to be frank, there's absolutely no evidence that 3698 is fully contained. In fact, based on a report, the area of effect could be up to blank larger than our current estimate. The figure is, of course, imprecise. I stress, however, that its inaccuracy is not the result of miscalculation, but simply a side effect of our diminishing resources. In light of apparent budget cuts, submitted a site transfer request. So this is basically like, these are trees that make you want to live in the woods forever. So you go out and you smell the trees, and then you're like, "These is really nice. I wish I could live in the woods." And then you're like, "I want to put trees in my house." And then you put trees in your house. And you're like, "I want to go live in the woods." And then you go and live in the woods. And then you're like, "I want to stay in the woods forever."
And then you lay next to the tree. Forever. And you slowly die and you become tree food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Mm-hmm. Like, people talk about, like, are we farming
it's
plants?
Like the sirens. They're the sirens of the forest.
Ooh, yeah. I've heard people talk about, like, are we farming plants or are plants farming us? Because they give us oxygen, helps us survive. Then we die and we become plant food.
That's true. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, people that get buried, they get jacked full of formaldehyde and stuff like that. Trees don't like that.
Ooh, maybe that's why nature's starting to revolt.
Maybe.
Because we don't sacrifice our
like,
dead.
You should live and just live next to us and then just curl up next to us and then slowly pass into oblivion.
Well, I've talked like
we will eat you.
How I want to be buried, like, yeah, put me like in a tree and just let me be like tree food. That still feels like that'd be a good way to go. Well, not go, but a good way to like use my body. Body. Richard, give me a body.
Why have you done this to me?
Let's do 1895.
1895. 1895. SCP-1895 is a modified three-reel Wheel of Fortune slot machine. Manufactured by International Game Technology. The serial numbers have been removed from the machine, hindering attempts to determine provenance. Its anomalous effects manifest when it is touched by a living human being while it is powered and in an inactive state. The object will not activate a second time for anyone that has previously activated the device. Once activated, 1,000 credits will be given to the machine, and it will become playable as per standard rules of non-anomalous versions of the machine. 1895 will retain memory of the number of credits it is set to despite loss of power or disassembly. The second effect will occur once the payout button is depressed. Once payout is selected, the machine resets to 0 credits, and a claim ticket 1895A is generated. Instances of 1895 list the name of the person that has activated it, the final number of credits, and a personalized message. The message will generally either have a congratulatory or consolatory tone based on the final number of credits when the instance was generated. In most cases, a positive or negative event in the individual's past is detailed, including events that the subject had not known beforehand. In 12% of 1895's messages recorded, an event is specified, followed by details of what might have occurred if the event had an alternative outcome.
Ooh, it's like a what-if machine.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like this one.
8% of recorded cases, possible future occurrences are alluded to. Experiments have been inconclusive, as to whether 1895 has predictive abilities. It was originally located in the McCarran International Airport, located in Las Vegas, Nevada. It was seized by the Nevada Gaming Control Board following complaints of a rigged game. The Foundation recovered the object and distributed Class D amnestics to affected users and enforcement agencies who had been exposed. They do list some of the tickets. If you would like to hear some of the tickets, the names are obviously all redacted. I can list the number of credits that was given, or the number of credits on the receipt, and the aforementioned statement underneath the credits. 1201. Congratulations, they didn't find all of the bodies. You only received 3 life sentences.
Oh.
971 credits. Bad news. All that worry about when, or rather if, you're going to get out has given you an ulcer.
That seems like just life.
256. A terrible ending of all the times to get stuck with mashed carrots. You had to eat them for your last meal. Subject 54322 broke testing protocol and read the generated instance, and after this he became distressed and assaulted security personnel on hand for testing and attempted to leave the containment cell.
So speaking of
he was terminated during the struggle. Testing protocol was changed to remove D-Class from the containment cell room after activation.
Does it kind of worry you what your last meal will be? That talked about carrots. Do you ever think about that? What your last meal will be?
I never have until just now.
I've always if I have a bad meal, if I'm out somewhere and I'm what happens if I this is my last meal, and it's what my dying breath is going to be man, I should have ate somewhere else. Okay, but just to throw this out there, what grown adult, unless you're in the hospital, or unless you're 89 years old, why are you eating mashed carrots? Yeah, I'm not a big carrot fan to begin with.
I mean, I'm not huge on carrots. I mean, I like a carrot now and again, but what instance, who's eating mashed carrots?
Yeah.
Unless forced.
Yeah, I just figure the worst last, you have something left over. It's got 2 days before you probably should throw it out. And you're I'm just going to eat this because I don't want to waste it. And that's your last meal. It's not even old pizza, couple day old pizza. It's some kind of beef stew or something like that was okay, that you didn't season enough.
Yeah. Came from a can.
Yeah. Or you a meat sandwich. It's just a cold cut sandwich, but the meat was a little bit older than probably. It's a couple days away from when you need to throw it away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it's still good, and you don't have any mustard or pickles or any good chips to mix with it. You're this will do.
The last instance was done by a research assistant who was used. The number of credits is 615,602. And the message says, congratulations, and that's in all caps. Congratulations, you're the big winner. Instead of killing your kid sister in a tragic accident, causing your parents to break up, and you embarking on a life of crime until you ended up in the D-Class program, you got to have a stable home and a background studying at a prestigious university before joining the Foundation.
Oh, man.
A research assistant was used for this test run when the progressive jackpot was hit. 1895 began admitting colored streamers from the claim check slot for apparently 2 minutes. Following this, the above ticket was generated, and SCP-1895 was reset as though the payout button had been pressed. No record of this person was located in Foundation records. Assistant is currently being held per the zero tolerance escapee policy, and all testing suspended until the full nature of 1895's effects can be determined. So this is a slot machine that can tell you your possible out futures.
But it's one of those where you don't know if it's actually true or not.
Or give you the like, hey, things could have gone this way.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, you always want, it's like the whole tampering thing with like experiments. It's like if somebody tells you your future, have they just tampered it? So will that actually be your future?
So really, when you think about like what these SCP entries are, like in a way, it's kind of like a short story / Twilight Zone episode generator.
I was saying like Warehouse 13 a little bit too.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Very much so.
Yeah, I like these. These are kind of fun. Let's see, we haven't done a big number. Let's do 7608. 7608.
7608. 70. Oh, some of these are saying access denied. So you might not get the 76. Whoa. Yeah. No 7608. I can give you
give me one that's close to it.
I'll give you one close.
That's somebody that's just lazy. They're like, there's 8,000 entries. Oh man, I can only do 100 of these.
SCP-7601 is an anomalous female Peking duck. It is able to extend the length of its neck indefinitely, reaching a reported maximum of 4,520 kilometers long.
Oh, damn. You get lightheaded if you do that, if you go straight up.
Where 7601 obtains the matter required to increase the size of its neck is unknown. While this is occurring, the size of 7601's body and head are not affected. This means by which 7601 is able to hold its neck in the air despite its immense size are not understood. The anomaly is also capable of speaking English, although this has only been observed once. 7601 is also resistant to conventional weaponry. However, it is not invulnerable. It was discovered on May 6th of 2011. Amnestics have been administered to all civilian witnesses, and false memories of a surprise flyby from the United States Air Force have been implanted. There is a picture included of what seems to be the neck and head of a goose stretching along the side of a airplane in flight.
I thought it was a duck.
Well, I guess it could be a duck. It's white, so that's why I said goose.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Peking duck, which I thought was just some kind of duck.
It's listed
That's a Peking
as
duck, get it? Because its neck goes so high it can peek into windows. Clever. Nailed it.
The entry is listed as the what is it called? The Unstoppable Infinity Duck.
Oh gosh, Thanos, count your stones, buddy. You know, ducks are mean too. Could you imagine a duck with like a 400-mile long neck?
Yeah. There's a very long timeline incident of 7601 that I don't know if I want to get into. There's also security footage, which is being used as protection from 7601's assault on Site 17.
So is the neck the only thing that can grow on this duck?
I believe so, yes. Okay.
Whew,
following this log, 7601 retracted its neck at an average speed of 1,200 meters per second, and after 3 hours and 47 minutes, 7601's neck had retracted to the length of a typical non-anomalous duck. Containment teams have successfully detained 7601 while it was eating a hamburger in a dumpster. 7601 has been provisionally contained at Site 198 until a method of stopping the extension of its net can be devised. A joint foundation mass amnestication program is underway. It has displayed no anomalous properties since incident 7601. So it's a duck that can stretch its neck out really, really far.
I like how some of these are like, that seems kind of silly, but then there's some like the what if machine from hell that's like actually pretty scary.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick like, well, let's see. I'll pick one. I'll go with 128. Go all the way 126, 7, 8. SCP-128 is an immaterial source of kinetic energy which can be conferred upon any non-living solid material within line of sight of its source. The source itself is modal with a tendency to remain along the walls or at the center wheel of the containment chamber. Line of sight is blocked by any opaque material, including lead, steel, or even single sheets of paper, but not transparent materials such as ballistic glass. Despite SCP-128's invisible immaterial form, it has been determined that the entity cannot be compressed into a space under a 2-centimeter radius sphere. It arbitrarily chooses which items to accelerate with a slight statistical preference for new objects over older ones. So apparently it's an entity of force that can make things go fast. It's like the Speed Force.
Ooh, yeah.
From the Flash.
This is where the Flash gets his power.
Maybe. One thing that I thought was interesting is entry 001. All it has is awaiting declassification. Oh. So apparently SCP-001 is not, like you can't even, it's awaiting declassification. Non-authorized personnel accessing this file will immediately be terminated through pneumatic kill agent. Scrolling down without proper pneumatic inoculation will result in immediate cardiac arrest, followed by death.
Oh, do it. See what happens.
No. I don't want to die. You trying to kill me?
You won't die. This is on the internet.
Shawn, I saw the video.
7 days.
I saw the movie. I don't remember what movie it was. Not The Ring. There was another one.
Oh, there was Fear.com, but that one was really weird.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I remember going to see that in movie theaters. Like, oh my God, it's going to be awesome. And it made no sense. And it's like, it was kind of like early on, like social media, like watching bad stuff on the internet. But then there was like some kind of satanic, like demon aspect to it too. I don't know. It was weird. I didn't like it.
I'm surprised I haven't seen anything like, I haven't seen like Bigfoot on here. Like I'm just kind of like scrolling through. I'm not seeing like Bigfoot or
well, we got Pixies.
The Mummy.
Do 54
what's the Leviathan.
Ooh, do that one.
Because of its size, SCP-169 cannot and almost certainly will never be contained.
Uh-oh.
No structure on Earth is large enough or strong enough to contain SCP-169. The location of SCP-169 is not precisely known, but imaging satellites and analysis of eccentricities in the Earth's orbit suggest it is located in the southern Atlantic Ocean, possibly stretching around the tip of South America. Any satellite footage of a shift of land masses is to be excised and destroyed by embedded agents.
Ooh, it's like Godzilla.
It's assumed to be a marine arthropod of enormous size known as the Leviathan by generations of sailors and oral history. It was detected on redacted date by Mobile Task Force Gamma 6 during an investigation of paranormal activity. During Y6's investigation, they discovered the archipelago to have moved at least 3 kilometers from its original location. Though initially believed this motion to be due to unusually quick continental drift, a reconnaissance mission revealed the archipelago to be the protrusions of rock-like plates covering an enormous organic mass. The islands have been historically uninhabited, though claimed in 17 redacted. Upon handover to the Foundation, presence was evacuated on the pretense of rising sea levels. Any change of depth by SCP-169 could result in the disappearance of the entire archipelago. It moves slowly, less than 1 kilometer per week, but seems only to be adrift. Its method of propulsion is unknown. Regular seismic tremors seem to indicate breathing about every 3 months.
Oh, geez. That's some deep breaths.
Causing minor shifts in the island's terrain, suggesting that the creature is probably dormant.
Oh, that's your whole, like, mountain thing. Like, you look out at a mountain or, like, a big hill, and what happens if it just got up? You're like, well...
That's terrifying.
It is, isn't it? Because, I mean, like, the biggest land creature is like an elephant. And, like, they're big, but, you know, comparable to us, it's like,
not
okay.
like a mountain big.
Yeah.
Or not even a mountain. Just like, okay, think about like a cornfield, you know? Like, what if something the length of a cornfield just stood up?
And, you know, if nobody's known about it, it's going to be hungry. And you're driving in your car, and it's like, oh my God, look, a fortune cookie. Nom, 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 nom.
Like, just imagine, like, anything taller than, say, like, 30 feet. Like, you see something 40 feet tall with sharp teeth. I mean, like, I don't even have to describe anything else. Like, I say 40 feet tall and sharp teeth, and, like, immediately your brain's like, well, that's going to kill me and eat me.
Yeah, that's what I'd assume. They talk about like those like in the Midwest, like Illinois area, like the big Phoenix pterodactyl birds that are supposedly there.
Yeah.
Now you imagine just like woof woof woof, like, oh, guess I'm gonna be bird food.
God, nope, and nope.
Yeah, because right now, honestly, like the biggest fear for humans, like you stay out of the water, like 90% of the things that are gonna kill you and eat you are in the water.
Agreed. Let's see, Shawn. Looks like you've got time for one, maybe two more.
Let's do 6471. 6471.
6471. 6471. Oh, okay. SCP 6471 is a VR MMO RPG.
Oh, yeah.
Known as a Midsummer Night's Game Online, published by Super Carefree, playing on the 21st of June, 2004. This game can only be played with a cave system specifically designed for the game. The plot revolves around the players being called into the connected realm by the Twilight Castle to claim rulership of it and the many territories that are representations from thousands of different worlds. The goal of the game is to claim all territories for the Twilight Castle in exchange for eternal glory. The game is influenced by the current state of the World Wide Web and vice versa, with most in-game actions have an effect on the web being only possible in the debug mode. It is currently theorized that 6471 is not a video game, but rather another realm accessible only by playing the video game. If this theory is correct, 6471 should adapt to future hardware as if it was originally released for the new hardware. 6471 came to the Foundation's attention because of the game's unusual release decision. The game needing its own dedicated cave system makes requiring the game expensive, especially with the general disinterest in virtual reality for the last few years. Together with the company's SCP initials, despite having no apparent connections to the Foundation, made an investigation into 6471 necessary. It's a living game, Shawn.
This is like, you think about VR and where we're heading with that stuff. Like, could you think of like a game that, like, you think of like the Oasis and like Ready Player One? Like, could there be a game so immersive that like people get stuck in it and forget to like get out and like eat and do things?
Like eat food?
Yeah. Because that was in the second book for Ready Player 2. It was like, so in the first one, like you're in the worlds and like there's like haptic feedback and stuff, but like if I shook your hand in game, like I can feel like a squeeze. But with the second version, like actually embeds into your brain. So like when we shake hands, I can feel like your skin and I can feel the heat of your hand, and like it's a real handshake, but in a virtual world. The only thing that saved them is that like after 8 hours of doing that, like you would go like in like some kind of shock if you didn't get out. So they like forced you to get out of the game. But I mean, if you imagine there's no way to do that and you got stuck in that immersive world where you're there and you eat an apple and you're like, well, I ate an apple, I'm full. Your brain says you're full. But you
how far away do you think we are from something similar to that?
Oh,
like
60 years. I don't think we're very close.
I was going to say like, Cause you see those commercials for like that for like the crazy robot man has that oh God, was it the metaverse?
Yeah,
and you're like, no way.
Well,
no way that anybody would be into this.
Yeah, and I listened to a little bit when he was talking about like just figuring out like what you would see from your arm was like this huge thing. Like he said, like depending on where you thought your arms were, like parts of the arms you would actually see. Like, it took him a while to even figure out how to do that somewhat okay. But yeah, I'd say, I mean, we've made big jumps, but like, you think even controllers, like PS5 has pretty good haptic feedback, but it doesn't feel like actual grass and stuff. It just feels a little different. So, I mean, yeah, I would say 60 years at least.
So far, I think that the best kind of like VR setup, from what I understand, the best kind of VR-ish setup is the one that Steam put out, right? The Steam Index. I think that's which one it's called. I don't remember. But just like in terms of like the latency, because you still have that, like, I mean, when somebody says like, oh, it's low latency, like a millisecond. The difference between 1 and 2 milliseconds like doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking about like the actual response time of a signal going from your brain to your hand to grab a thing, like that makes it like that makes a difference.
Yeah. Well, I know I've seen like they've got those systems where like you can kind of run in place, and so you feel like you're doing stuff. I'd be interested to try one of those, but I mean, if you're talking like in every home, like a Nintendo, like, yeah, I would say 60 years at least, but I could be wrong. I mean, it just really, it depends on like, actually, you know what it depends on is when porn picks it up. Cause when porn picks it up, then it goes through the roof, but then we're going to have a really big population problem.
I've seen forays into the virtual sex world, and like, I mean, they seem interesting, but It seems like they have things kind of figured out mechanically, but in terms of the actual like brain perception, I don't think. I mean, obviously we're not. I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, you think about where we've jumped since we've been in like video games and stuff like that. Like we were Nintendo.
I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean,
and now we're playing online across different systems on Destiny.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess who's to say? Like, we'll see. I guess we should have this conversation again in like 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's
like,
It's a good touch point conversation.
We'll have it in the the Midsummer Night's Game online.
That's when we know it's happened, when that game comes out. But Richard, this was fun. I feel like we need a badge for the SCP. I feel like that's what we kind of need to be, like SCP investigators and kind of go through some of these again. But I thought it was kind of interesting, a lot of fun.
I've seen advertisements where like they've put out like series of books.
Oh, cool.
So
I feel like if you want like an experiment, like a writing experiment, finding one of those stories and like writing about like an investigation around it, like a supernatural investigation, would be kind of interesting.
Exactly. I mean that's kind of what it is. I mean, I didn't get into a lot of it, but I mean, with a lot of these entries, it's, a description. There's like a small description of like 2 or 3 paragraphs, and then a lot of the stuff below it are like investigation logs and interview transcripts and like timeline files and stuff like that. So it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff that's kind of hard to convey strictly in audio form without kind of doing a little bit of research on it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
As a way to put it out there, but yeah, it's a lot of, think of it like a no, not really fan fiction. I wouldn't say it's even fan fiction because a lot of the stuff is made like whole cloth.
Yeah.
Like I think earlier, it's like a Twilight Zone episode generator. You could make a Twilight Zone episode out of every single one of these entries.
Yeah, I like it. Well, as we're tidying up one of our episodes for the spooky season, what do you have for some Richard's closing thoughts?
Hopefully none of these are real, but if they are, I guess we'll be glad that there is a group that is out to secure, contain, and protect.
I like it. Yeah, the Leviathan one was probably one of the scariest ones for me, because if it's dormant, that means it's going to wake up at some point.
Right?
But, all right, well, let me do some housekeeping. Visit our website, we're at languageofbros.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbros.com. And we'd like to thank our 2 patrons, SCP number 116 and 2175, Wendy and Aaron.
See, now I want to look those numbers up.
Oh, yep, there they are.
Yep, there it is. Sure enough.
All right, well, you have anything else before I close her out?
No, I'm good, sir.
All right, well, that's all the Bromance for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And remember, don't be a why.
Be a why not.
I feel like there's something upstairs. I wonder what is that? Oh, it's my wife vacuuming right at the end of the show. Still doing a show down there?
Entry number 58.